We are a company based in Poland, Krakow, and we are doing, social casino multiplayer games. And what I want to talk about today is actually user-generated content in casino games, because it's not very common that people actually create something inside, well, a social casino. Um, some integration user-generated content mechanics, and the benefits for the developer as well as for the users. All right, this is Excitement Bike. Just a quick intro. It's a game for a Nintendo NS system, and I played it a lot back then with a friend. And you could just create some levels, but you couldn't save them, you couldn't share them, you could just play them. And after turning off the system, they were gone. But it's of course an action game or arcade game. It's not a casino. So let's be a little bit evil and think through why we need user-generated content in casino games. All right, when you have a sandbox, well, this is your game. People come there and play the game. The editor is somewhere outside of the game and maybe not very accessible at the first time. So the first user, they arrive, they start playing, they maybe start liking your game even, and then they search for a little bit more. What we deliver as a developer normally, we generate all the content for the users. We create for them tournaments, we create tables, special tables, whatsoever. But it's a lot of work, and we don't always know what our users want, especially in the casino games where the people are very differentiated in age, and maybe they expect just something else. So why I'm telling this? It's just because we are a little bit lazy and we want the user to create stuff for us that they understand and they like. Probably they will create something very awesome and, well, it will be there in your game. So the biggest question here is for the user, do I consume or do I create value? When I create something for other people, I want to have rewards, some kind of rewards. I want to have fun with it, and so on and so on. For me, creating stuff in a game is basically lifestyle. This means, again, coming back to casino games. When you have poker, for instance, it's not only a game. You don't just play it. You organize events, probably you play with your friends, then you dim down the lights, and probably you have a poker table. It's actually generating the content around the game in real life. So when you want to play casino online, you probably would like to invite the friends, give them drinks, build the tables, and so on, so on. The same way you would do at home. So this is much more lifestyle because you are thinking outside of the box, outside of the game in this case. Okay, getting back to the user-generated content in a casino, the first rule for us is, of course, keep it simple. Why? Because of data. We are trying to analyze every data we get from the users, even if they create something. You just can't have the data on your servers and don't analyze it when people create it, put it there, and it would be just lost. So we need to analyze the big data and provide the simplest possible frameworks for the user to create the stuff. By framework, I don't only mean the editor, I mean the whole experience. So how it starts with building the level, understanding what they do, maintaining it, and so on. What you could create in casino games. It's clubs, it's tables, it's tournaments, it's leagues. That's very obvious. What we want to achieve in the future, that people could even create challenges, create achievements for their friends, because that's are very good retention tools when they say to friends, just play, the game, and you will get this and this. It's the most social network for us, for people, when they can create anything besides level. Okay, issues with creating content in casino are mostly technology, UX, and moderation. But this is stuff we've handled very well, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have no problems with technology, UX, and moderation anymore, because by technology, well, we have the technology, we have Flash, we have Unity, and so on. When it comes to UI, you have probably good UI designers. They've worked in the company, the industry for very long, and moderation, yeah, it's just community managers. So this is solved, and the real issues is leak of talent for me, visibility and reward. By leak of talent, I mean when you create something, you want it to have it good looking. It shouldn't be just, you know, like no. And visibility, it's the App Store problem. So we have a lot of content. How do you provide it to your user that they like it, that they get the content they want? And reward, why should they actually create stuff in your game? So, how to fix the talent problem? By talent, well, you probably think about graphics. So let's talk about them. If you have tools and you give them to the user, they probably should be really easy to use, because when you give them a lot of variety of tools, they will create probably something like this. Everybody played with Paint for at least a few minutes, and the results wasn't that amazing. You wouldn't share that. So, for instance, we create for the users tools in the game or on the website where they just get the asset, put them somehow together, and it should look good. And the most important thing here, for me at least, is the random button. Why? Because they click like 2, 3, 4 times, and they have a decent result. They like their avatar, and they put it on the page. But what happens if they still want to use default tools? I don't want to make advertisement for Photoshop, but it's for me, you know, it's a huge tool. It's a very good tool to create awesome assets, but you need to know it. This is a picture actually taken from one of our fan pages. A user created the fan page, and he started with this picture. It wasn't very fancy. In the beginning, we couldn't even read what's there on a small screen, and we were figuring out, all right, we know what they wanted. They tried to use Photoshop. So after a while, they figured out that they can take our assets from our websites and put them somehow together and cut them out of the, you know, other art assets we are providing for our games. And we figured, well, they're generating the content for us. You know, they create a lot of advertisement. So we delivered them a toolkit with ready assets, and the results are this. They figured out after like 2 or 3 weeks how to use Photoshop with these prefabs to create really awesome assets, and they just rearranged them. It's not something big, but for them it's a huge amount of, you know, getting reward, getting appreciation as a reward from their users that they create such a content. Okay, besides art assets, we give the option to just get some random text. For example, when you create a club, you have a description and it's predefined, the name is predefined. You know, it's much easier to change just few words than creating a whole message. And this prevents even creating stupid assets, sorry for calling it this way. Most people just start with hitting the keyboard and seeing what's happened. When you have a predefined message, you probably will change a few words and publish it. Okay, so here we are. We deliver predefined rules, then rather than 100 of options, because predefined rules, you know, you have a pretty decent result in the end. It looks like we want to have it in the game, but it's arranged by the users. The visibility. Yeah, again, as said, it's an App Store problem, so we have a lot of content, and how to show it to the user. I would start with an abuse button. It's kind of rating, because not only content that is, for example, violent will be rated, but the abuse button is used even if you have a, again, in casino, if you have a tournament that is where nobody is playing, then people just push the abuse button, and we know that we can put it somewhere down in the list, or even remove it from the system. user ratings. It's kind of the same thing like with the abuse button, giving 5 stars. It's very easy for us because we get the information from the user, what he's liking and what not, and analytics. We are collecting a huge amount of data. This is why we try to keep it simple. How many people actually play on these tournaments, tables, and so on, and we arrange the lists for the users by the data. But it's a huge amount of work. It takes a lot of time. So we try to keep it simple. Yeah, that's what's happening behind the scenes. It's like collecting data, analyzing it, and making an awesome CRM tool out of your game that helps just showing the data users want to see. And visibility is viral. This means when you have a user who created something, it's no matter if it's a level, it's a tournament, it's a table, club, whatsoever, give them the option to actually promote it. And what we figured out is when we gave them the option to create clubs, they can promote it outside of the game. So they want to have as much as possible players in their club because, well, it's awesome to have friends around there, and they advertise it. The advertisement isn't for free. You need to pay in game coins. So it's kind of, monetization option, as well as the newsletter. You could put actually your club, your tournament, into the newsletter that we send out, and it's just working. How to reward the people? They have invested some time, some cash or in-game cash into the product. They like what they do, they like the game, but they want to get something back. And the biggest reward is, of course, appreciations from other users. So their users on forums or on the ratings say, oh, it's awesome, I like to play here, I like to stay here. And this is something we can't, of course, buy. We can just give the tools to appreciate what they've done. What we can do is giving the people who are actually doing something for us, giving them rewards, and it's achievements, it's medals, it's special jackpots, it's whatsoever. The biggest reward for me is an affiliate model. It's what's right now working. When you have a club and you have advertised it, you have a lot of gamers, and you will advertise it because you get a few % of the rake back to you. So you are actually not playing, but you're earning in-game money just with it. And from the business perspective, this is what happens. The user do something for free for us. They generate the content and they generate high quality traffic because they maintain their content, they get the reward, they expand the product, and acquire actually new users that are high quality because they are friends and they know that this user will probably play the game, so they advertise their content. From our perspective, it's just giving the tools. It sounds maybe stupid, but well, that's the most important thing to do. Just giving the tools that work, that just give you the option to create something and to get the rewards, of course. Okay, so here we are. We have the user. We have a long-time user who likes to playing the game. He will be a fan. Probably someday he will be the super fan who really stays there, who pays maybe. And we give them the option to just create awesome things. It's good for us, it's good for the users and for the business. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions? Questions? Do you have anything more to add? Do you have anything more to add?
Well, the thing is, we started, this is one thing I can tell you guys, we made actually like 10 years ago our first casino games, and we had user-generated content in it, but we removed it after a few years because we thought, well, why should they? Why they don't do it, they don't build it, because we didn't understand the virality feature of it, and just a few years back, then we figured out, come on, this was a bad decision, so let's get back to the idea.
So and seen a really increase in user engagement.
And right now it's increasing the user engagement because, you know, they feel attached to the product because they create something, they like to play it.
Ownership.
Yeah, it's their product. Dan.
Thank you. Questions out there? Here we got a question.
Can you talk about the platforms that your games are on and where you see the most usage of the creator tools?
We have our own kind of social network. You know, we have a website where you can play the games, so it's Flash and web. And where the most things happen is there. Because on Facebook, we figured that a lot of people are just casual gamers. They are coming there, they are playing for 5 minutes poker, bingo, whatsoever, and will go away. The same thing happens on mobile. But we have users on our network. They stay for like 6-7 years, and they play daily around 1-2 hours. And there is where the magic happens. They create the levels, the tournaments, the tables, and so on the web page. So it's somehow around the game. It's not in the game right now.
Last but not least, questions. That's some pretty good retention there.
There's pretty good retention. Yeah, you know, the thing is, when you play with your friends and you know them and they like to play the games as well, they come back. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Very
Okay.
informative.
Thank you.